People are quitting their jobs in record numbers, but here's why it might not make you any happier. Here's a CNBC story. Millions of Americans have been quitting their jobs over the past year or two, and it's the most on record since the government started recording labor turnover since the year 2000. But here's the question: will quitting your job actually make you any happier? Here's what the article says on CNBC. Experts say maybe not as much as you think, especially in the long run if you don't plan properly. And this article basically points to two major reasons. Number one, people tend to adapt back, reversion to the mean, if you've ever heard that before. So quitting your job might make you happy at first. But that feeling may not last long, says one psychology professor who has been studying happiness for more than 30 years. What a job, by the way. My job is to study happiness. By the way, a little small fact, my friend founded, this is at the UN, United Nations, founded the International Day of Happiness. It's in March, by the way. Maybe next March we'll bring him back on to talk about happiness. Actually, the Kingdom of Bhutan, they don't, every country.
Is that next to Wakanda?
That's right near there. They judge economic prosperity by GDP, right? Gross domestic product. The Kingdom of Bhutan has GHP, gross happiness product. How happy are their people? Okay. Anyway, a little small note right there. So the psychologist basically says that when making changes, we tend to focus on the immediate change and how it will make us feel, but not what will happen a month later, right? It's the I want it now, I want it now, I want it now mentality that millennials always get their chops busted for. I want it now, but a month later they're maybe like, well, not so much, not so much. Like a great idea. All right, so number one is people tend to adapt back. It's kind of like, actually, our friend Gerard's here. He actually showed us a clip of SNL of Adam Sandler. What's up, G? And basically, it was Adam Sandler giving a spoof on SNL about Romano tours. Essentially his joke was like, come to Romano tours. We'll take you to Italy. But here's what we can do and here's what we can't do. If you're a sad person in New Jersey, you're still going to be a sad person in Italy.
Only in Italy.
If you don't like going hiking in the States, you're not going to be a fan of hiking in Italy. If you've got a drinking problem in the States, the reason that you're drinking in Italy is not. So anyway, the point is you're going to tend to adapt back to who you are no matter the circumstances. But here's number two. You can't run away from yourself. Here, the article basically goes on and says, the reason for quitting a job may also affect whether or not it will add to your happiness. So here's the question. I'm asking you guys at home. I'm breaking the fourth wall, as our friend like G likes to say. Is it something about you or is it something about the job? Ask yourself that. Is it something about you or is it something about the job of why you're quitting? Because if it's you, you will likely bring that problem to your next job. We take ourselves with us to the new job. Basically the SNL thing where if you're unhappy in New Jersey, just because you go on a tour of Italy, you're going to still be an unhappy person.
Correct.
So that's basically what it is. So let me give a shout out to PBD real quick. You guys might have heard of PBD, Patrick Bet-David. He's the founder of Valuetainment. He tells this story about a person who goes from job to job to job and how they always basically place blame on their boss or on their coworkers. Well, they didn't let me do this. He didn't understand that. And he basically says, no, it's you. It's you. If it's always somebody else's fault, if you're always fighting with someone at your office, if your boss and you never get along, maybe it's not everybody else's fault. Maybe it's you. The hardest thing to do is look in the mirror and be like, get it together, buddy.
Yeah.
I mean, get it together. How many times you look in the mirror and be like, you again? You? I deal with you again? Nobody wants to face the man in the mirror. I believe Michael Jackson once said, who was he talking to? I'm talking to the man in the mirror. For those of you that say that I don't like karaoke, I'll do it right here. Just not.
O'Brien's, where you at?
O'Brien's.
Adam Sosnick.
You guys killed it.
O'Brien's rules.
O'Brien's rules. Anyway, so that's a story that PBD always says.
Talk is money. All we talk is money.
If you enjoyed that short clip from the Soscast, click here to watch another. Click here to watch the full episode, or just stay broke.